All right, next up, we have the Board of Education norms. For Benton Harbor area schools, those are, we will treat each other with respect, we will listen to learn, we will refrain from side conversations. We will use our time wisely, starting and ending our meetings on time. My goal for tonight is 8 o'clock. We will challenge ideas, not people. We will ask questions when in doubt. There will be no surprises at the board table. We will practice the 7 norms of collaboration. Those are pausing, paraphrasing, posing questions, putting ideas on the table, providing data, paying attention to self and others, and presuming positive intentions. Next up, we have public comment on agenda items. Is there anyone who would like to make a comment on an agenda item? Hearing none, we'll proceed. Up next, we have approval of meeting minutes. Of course, this is our work session, so they won't be approved today. However, at our next regular board meeting, we'll have approval for the special session, the board retreat minutes for October 4th, 2025, as well as the regular session minutes for October 14th, 2025, and I would anticipate today's minutes as well. So make sure that you all take a look at those once received. If you have any edits or amendments needed, please send those forward to Dr. Griffin and Ms. Singer. Reminder, protocol as of 9/13/2022. All comments will be limited to 2 minutes per trustee per topic. First, under board business, we have MASB Annual Leadership Conference updates. I'd like to apologize to the board that I was unable to attend. I know I was one of the greatest advocates for us all being there. However, when we do attend conferences and things of that nature, we do come back with a report back. So at this particular time, I'll open the floor if there's anyone that would like to add comments as to the experience or overall conference.
Madam President,
You have the floor.
I arrived that Friday, and when I got there, I attended a class on Black superintendents and Black female superintendents. And it was an honor to be right next to representing with our superintendent on the front row. One of the things the superintendent, Dr. Jazz Parks, presented, and you think Benton Harbor area schools, we hear so much, but you see some of the stuff that they go through. I said, thank you, Jesus, for the tigers we are. They had a Gaza resolution. They had to deal with the board situations. And it was just an honor to represent. And then Secretary Triplett introduced our superintendent. And it was just overall unified. We missed your presence. I hope you can attend the next one.
I hope the same for you.
Schedule's booked, but thank you so much.
Anyone else would like to add any feedback? If not, you have the floor.
I too was honored to be there, and it's just so nice that you can improve yourself. It's like any other profession that you're in or job that you do. The ability and the availability that we have through MASB to constantly learn new things and to have our understanding enlightened. And I was so pleased that our superintendent was able to be with us. It's always nice to have the top people in the room. We did miss our board president, but we carried each other. We acted well on your end. Thank you. But the things that we learned, and I wasn't able to get anything ready for this board meeting, but for the next, I'd like to do a little presentation of some of the things that we've been learning in MASB in the meetings.
Sounds good. I'll ask that Ms. Singer note that for me so I don't forget. And just for the public, MASB is the Michigan Association of School Boards. So school districts, your boards have an opportunity to become a member of the association. And they provide conferences and educational learning opportunities for boards of education. Secretary Triplett.
Madam President, I'm glad that we had the opportunity to go. I think it's always good that the Board of Education take advantage of opportunities like this so that we'll have an opportunity to see that a lot of the things that we're doing here as a Board of Education, we're on track and in many instances ahead of the ball. I too had an opportunity to see old friends, had an opportunity to see colleagues from Flint, colleagues from Kalamazoo Public Schools, colleagues from Saginaw, and districts that look like ours. I was very, very pleased to see that the Michigan Association of School Boards has some emphasis on identifying African-American presenters because that's very, very critical. I too had the opportunity to be in the workshop where it was basically what African-American female superintendents go through and in their roles as African-American women and how people receive them in those roles, which are really basically held by white men. And so that was a great workshop, well, a presentation for us to attend. All of us went to that one. And I was very honored to see our superintendent there. She had an opportunity to speak briefly with the superintendent of Ann Arbor Public Schools. I did miss your presence, but you've been there so many times before. And so, yeah, it was a long ride, long drive to Traverse. Yes, very long. But we made it, and I was glad to see our board make an asserted effort to be a part of it. Good to see our vice president as well.
Absolutely, and I look forward to seeing him at future conferences. If there's no other impact provided, we'll pass the floor to Dr. Griffin for the positive pause staff appreciation recognition.
Yes. I'm excited about this. Actually, today is my 90th day with the district, and I'm super happy about that. What better way to commemorate it by launching my Positive Pause program? This is an opportunity for us to highlight the great things that staff are demonstrating across our great district. It's called our Positive Pause, and it's how our staff exemplifies our Tiger values: teamwork, innovation, growth, excellence, and readiness. That's what they represent. And so at this time, I would like to acknowledge many of our staff members throughout the district really quickly for the great work that they have done. I'm just going to go through these really quickly. You guys, your gift cards, what we're going to have for you. This is just a note and your envelope, kind of like your little IOU, because we ordered your gift cards. We ordered each of them a $50 gift card that we get donated to our district through our bank in some way. I have to double check it, but we get them free. But this is the note. It will represent your certificate that's coming in your case, as well as your $50 gift card for the work that you did above and beyond and exemplifying teamwork. Tiger values. So I'll start with Jason Wolf, because he is everywhere all the time. Just don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for your hard work. And then we have, there are many of them in here. I'll name them, but I'm gonna go make sure I address those that are in the room. Where's Kyle's? Here we are. Sherilyn Kyles. This is my homecoming committee. An amazing job with only 2 weeks' notice.
I would have to pull and start screaming, but I'm not. No.
Thank you for your hard work. Miss Regina Robinson, please come up. She did a great job.
That was my class advisor.
Thank you so much. Miss Brenda Matthews, come on up. You have been acknowledged as well. Someone acknowledge. She does a fantastic job. I think we also have our members, staff members being acknowledged by other departments throughout our district, our central office departments. So she was nominated. Who's your Miss Nichols? Miss Nichols, I have to sit. Miss Nichols, because each of the cabinet members, they wanted to highlight one person. And Miss Nichols, the Director of Student Support Services, acknowledged Miss Matthews. We have more really quickly. Miss Cindy Goodson. All right. Did an amazing job on the bonfire for homecoming. Thank you so much. I appreciate your hard work. Thank you. Do I have a-
Ricky Payne. Ricky Payne. You little, no. Burrell, sorry. Sorry.
Oh, Ricky Payne. All right, Mr. Rick. He was nominated by his supervisor. Thank you so much for your hard work. Here you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and name the rest of them really quickly. You guys can take, thank you so much. They couldn't all be here, but I want to at least acknowledge their names for the record. Brian Harris, Ardell Clark. Ardell did an amazing job during homecoming. Even the superintendent breakfast, he swung that. Miss Audrey Mason did a great job on the homecoming dance, right? And she made me some pretty cool swag too. Kylie Lofton, Raymond Emmerich, Trevin Alexander, these were principals who did an amazing job too. Delandria Patterson, Principal Jordan Wright. Elena Scales was nominated by her director, Angela, in her absence. Princess Magruder was also acknowledged. Soledad Martinez, Leonard Morant, Dr. Regina Strother, and Sophia Mason. Thank you to all of you for the hard work that you're doing. So in essence, these calls are an opportunity for administrators to acknowledge the good work and great work that our staff members do every single day, especially those that have gone above and beyond to pull off that homecoming weekend was amazing, and all the hard work you guys are doing. Thank you so much. At this time, I would like to highlight another person individually. If you could go ahead and play the video for me, Ms. Singer.
Dr. Griffin.
I'll share it. Just 1 second. It should be coming up now.
Is it disconnected?
Yeah, I forwarded it to you. You have it. It's very important.
That's what you enlarge it. Enlarge it.
You make it bigger.
Tell us your alarm. My alarm is broke. So that's why it's broke. That's why I get up in the morning and run, so I can get faster, so I can be better. And I know that's why you did all of your assignments, so that you can get smarter, you can get better. Yeah, that's the reason I teach, is to help students grow. And I had the experience when I was in 11th grade. I wanted to make it to a university. And I found out that I needed a 25 on the ACT test. My highest score was a 17. So I got a little study book and I practiced. I took the test again and I got a 19. 19 is better than the 17, but it's still well short of 25. So I knew that I had to work really hard. And just about every night and on the weekends, I studied that book, practiced the test. And the third time I took the test, I got a 25. So that was automatic admittance into Michigan State University. So I know that it's practice, perseverance, that you can achieve what you set out to achieve.
What do you like most about working in this district?
There's so much I like about working in the district. Tiger Pride, the homecoming week, the game time excitement, the feelings of graduation, and then being able to capture all that with my camera. But one of the things I like the most is the feeling of family. Working with people that I've known for so long, and having known parents of the students, it makes it so much easier. It makes it feel like a family.
What does being a Tiger mean to you?
Being a Tiger means being a part of history and carrying on traditions. We graduated 150 classes this high school, and to be part of that history is special.
If your students could walk away knowing one thing, what would it be?
I want all of my students to know that they matter, that they're important. From the homecoming queen, valedictorian, down to the lowest GPA. I want all the students to know that they matter, that they're important. And if they can imagine something, they can achieve it.
With that, I wanted to invite Mr. Wolf up. He's gonna kill me, to say a few words. I think he would do it. So I'm gonna make you continue to feel uncomfortable. The reason I chose to highlight him, come on up, you have to at least let everybody see you. This is the last part. I see him. You say catch somebody doing good. He is everywhere all the time, demonstrating exactly what he said. He's a man of integrity. He's a man who lets you know that the kids feel seen. So I wanted you to know, as superintendent of schools for Benton Harbor area schools, is that I see you. Thank you so much for all you do. You got to say something.
You need to say something, Mr. Wolf.
He told me he would never do it. But come on and say something.
Yes.
It is so nice. Work. Is this on?
It should be.
She's on her way.
I feel bad. Bullock's checked it in at work before we started.
You know, it is so nice to have Daisha Moore helping me at this podium and to work for this board. People that I've known for 27 years. And it's an honor and a privilege to work in this district. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That concludes my report.
I'm so excited. Mr. Wolf is my favorite teacher of all time. So thank you so much for all you give to Benton Harbor area schools and each student individually. Thank you so much. All right, that was amazing. Thank you. Okay, up next, we have the Power School litigation staff report B1. Did you want to brief that, Dr. Griffin, or did you want me to? Or okay, so what you all have in your packets, it should be your first set of documents right after your agenda. So I'll just kind of read the first paragraph. Schools nationwide are joining a lawsuit against Power School and related defendants concerning the December 2024 Power School data breach and Power School's alleged contract breaches, specifically MDL number 3149 in the United States District Court for the Southern District of California. According to Franz Law Group, a California law firm representing schools in that litigation, Power School hackers claim to possess data of 62.4 million students and 9.5 million teachers. That data includes names, addresses, phone numbers, emails, medical information, and social security numbers. And then it continues. If you take a look at the last three paragraphs, of course, a recovery in the lawsuit is not guaranteed. Troon is not co-counsel in the lawsuit. Their role is limited to referring clients to France. To join the lawsuit, our school needs to approve the enclosed resolution and contract. Areas highlighted in teal and those documents should be completed prior to signature. Now, in the paragraph above, it does note the terms for participating in the lawsuit are detailed in the enclosed attorney-client fee contract, which has already been reviewed by their firm. France will represent schools on a contingency fee basis, meaning France will not charge any fees or costs unless there is a financial recovery. France will receive 30% of any recovery. Troon will receive a portion of France 30%. If there is a recovery, schools will also reimburse France out of the recovery for costs incurred by France during the lawsuit, such as court filing costs and expert witness fees. So what you have before you is a resolution that'll be presented at our regular board meeting, which gives us an opportunity to essentially join the lawsuit with other districts nationwide. So I would like for you all to make sure that you read the email blast that we received from Troon, read through the resolution staff report B1. If you have any concerns, please raise those at the meeting. And then the attorney-client fee contract is also attached. So you are aware of the terms as it relates to France Law Group APLC. And then we can discuss that more in detail at our regular board meeting if there are any concerns from the board. All right, we're gonna move it right along. It's 6:30, so we have about an hour and a half to go. First, we have Policy and Discipline Committee for our work session. So we're gonna have there are some new September policy updates received from Neola. The committee will review and make any policy updates for presentation to the full board. That's volume 40, number 1, and volume 40, number 1, non-discrimination. There are some policy updates that we need to make that are outstanding. So we do have it noted to do a first read today. So I'll go through those briefly. So the volume 40 and number 1, and then the discrimination, those are in there as well. Okay, so the first policy that we'll be reviewing is revised bylaw volume 39, number 2. And this is bylaw 0131.1, bylaws and policies. So there are some amendments that have been made. So the second paragraph, you'll see those bylaws and policies which are not, they added required to have a public hearing by the statutes or rules of the state of Board of Education are ordered by the superintendent, and it goes on. So as you know, those things noted in green are what we're adding. Those things that are crossed out in red are what is suggested by Neola to be removed from the policy. So this one specifically relates to how we update our bylaws and policies. One of the things that I thought of when I read through it is that I don't know which bylaws are required to have a public hearing. I've never come across one that does, so that's further research that we'll have to reach out to Neola to specify and clarify. The next policy is policy 1430, leaves of absences. So there are some additions that are added as it relates to the Earned Sick Time Act, which is a fairly new provision. This policy provision applies to all district employees who are eligible to accrue earned sick time under the Earned Sick Time Act, ESTA. Paid leave includes, but is not limited to, paid vacation days, paid personal days, and paid time off. It goes more into detail about the accrual of that leave. Each eligible employee will accrue 1 hour of earned sick time for every 30 hours worked. And so it kind of continues to get us up to date with those federal standards. So ensure you read through that one as well as it relates to leave of absences. The next policy continued is 3430 regarding leave of absences. Essentially, same types of updates, earned sick time act updates and things of that nature. 4430 is again leave of absences, and these are broken down as it relates to our different staff levels. So that's where there's multiple leave of absence policies. Policy 2340 is for field and other district sponsored trips. So for example, the addition, the Board of Education recognizes the value of organized trips or other excursions away from the classroom as a valuable part of the district's educational programming and a valuable opportunity to obtain additional educational experiences not offered directly in the curriculum offerings. These opportunities occur in 4 primary forms addressed in this policy: field trips, extracurricular or co-curricular program related trips, overnight trips, and other district sponsored trips. Very important that you all review this one thoroughly. There's quite a bit of green that has been added as it relates to each of the field trip types. Most of these policies that we approve, as you all are aware, operations internally will be managed by our admin office and our administrators, et cetera. But it's important that the board is aware of the field trip policy as well, because these field trips come to us for approval. So we have to make sure that we are up to date on what those changes are. The next policy is concerning immunizations, 5320, very minor updates. For example, in the center of the page, you'll notice, well, at the top of the page, the update is just adding quotations around BHAS. And then we also have an addition to item A, the vaccines involved in the time frame the student is not able to get the vaccines is a small addition that's added. So just look over that one. That was just a super brief update. The next one is use of medications. Of course, another thing that the board does not necessarily deal with, but it's important that we're aware of what the expectations are. There's quite a bit that has been added as it relates to the administration of prescription drug products by school staff, and then quite a bit that has been removed as well. Student possession of medication updates there. And then continuing on, policy 5330.01 epinephrine auto injectors, some more regarding medical provisions. And then you will notate that there is some changes that are reflected here. So bylaws and policies, explanation of recommended changes. Bylaw 0131.1, bylaws and policies. This bylaw has been revised to streamline the process for review and the adoption of policy and of making technical corrections to policies and bylaws. The bylaw provides options for defining technical corrections and authorizes the superintendent to make such corrections and provide a summary of the corrections to the board for review. This revised bylaw should be adopted if the board wishes to streamline the policy adoption process and or technical corrections process. For policies 1430, 3430, and 4430, the leave of absence policies. These are revised. These policies have been adopted to include the provisions of the Earned Sick Time Act effective February 25th, 2025, or at the expiration of the district's collective bargaining agreement, CBA, covering such benefits. Policy 2340, field trip and other district sponsored trips. This policy has been adopted to update language overall to include transportation options and provisions found in policy 8640. Policy 5320, immunization revised. This policy has been revised to reflect the immunization requirements in the Michigan Department of Ed's 2024 immunization requirements for students entering kindergarten and 7th grade or enrolling in a new school district in grades 1 through 12. These revisions should be adopted in order to comply with MDE's immunization requirements. Policy 5330, use of medications revised. This policy was reviewed at the request of clients and updated to include additional definitions and further clarification to processes for the storage and administration of prescription and over-the-counter medications. These suggested revisions should be considered for adoption. And then policy 5330.01, this policy was revised at the request of clients, adding the immunity provisions set forth in applicable state law. So next board meeting, we'll be presenting staff report B1 for the noted policies for approval. That'll be our official second reading, and then we'll proceed. Now, there are policies that, because the discipline committee hears from our boards and previous concerns. There's also, we've included policy 5610 regarding the emergency removal, suspension, and expulsion of non-disabled students. 5610.02 in-school suspension. And then due process rights, 5611. Those are policies that we would like to begin conversation regarding if there are elements of those policies that we would like to adjust because the board has, certain members of the board has verbalized such. So the policy committee wants you to know that we hear you, and so we have those policies listed for review so that the board can have further conversation about those as well. So if you would like, what you can do is go through those last three policies. I know, for example, Secretary Triplett has mentioned wanting to review at what point the board becomes involved in the expulsion process. And so what I would ask is that you would take a look at that particular policy and then just send me a quick email of what particular section you would recommend for adjusting.
Okay.
And then that way we'll kind of have something tangible to review as a board when we rejoin. And don't have to necessarily have a conversation or discussion about what the change should be. And it'll give me an opportunity to have Neola review as well. All right. Any questions regarding policy?
Madam President?
Yes.
I'm so glad on some of these policies, but one thing I do think we need to do as staff, and I mentioned this to some of our colleagues, we need to implement a social media policy with teachers and staff.
We have one
Are we enforcing it?
that I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, but you can continue with your thought. I wasn't cutting you off.
I was gonna say, we may have one. I don't have a problem with us having like, most of us probably have, like I have a Trenton Ones for Solutions, that's solutions orientated. But that's where the public or the teachers could go to and interact with me versus the personal page. It's a difference.
I know that it was under Dr. Butt's leadership that there was a social media policy. I don't know if it was already in place or created, but I do remember that conversation and us getting that update at the board table because we supported the policy, but also there were concerns raised about whether it can be viewed as an attempt to silence staff. And so I remember us discussing more meaningful ways to give staff an opportunity to give feedback or express frustrations and things of that nature so that it doesn't have to go to social media or looking on social media and seeing that you have a staff member that's on the clock, that's making constant updates and things like that. So it is something that we discussed before, but I haven't seen it in quite some time, and we can re-review that policy.
No.
Secretary Triplett.
Yeah, I think that's a real critical piece as it relates to staff and social media. I think, for me, it has been very, very uncomfortable, if you will, to say the least. And to see employees on social media during the workday, that's not acceptable. If that's not their role and their responsibility. And also there are confidentiality breaches, if you will. I mean, when we just to reflect back, when we look back at the time we were going through situation with Boiler, where staff just took it upon themselves to take pictures of students in classroom during the school day with coats on, and it's just too much. It's unprofessional, and I think this is very, very urgent. You don't have to be. It's not about being friends with people on the board, on social media platforms, or any of that. But I think that is. I know for myself, I don't have time during my workday to be on social media as much as we see staff from Benton Harbor area schools on social media. I don't know how they are doing their jobs and having all of this time to be on social media hour after hour after hour, just posting. It's just ridiculous. So I would like for that to be, if we can, Madam President, to pull that back up. I don't really remember. I remember it came up because
Something
that
happened.
happened, I think, when it came to the boilers and different things like that. We have to also be careful when, our children are being, exploited or used on their own personal pages and stuff. So yeah, if we can we get that pulled as soon as possible, from, the superintendent? If the superintendent can do that for us, look through the policies and bring the ones up for social media.
All right, trustee Rocket Martin.
Sessions that I attended at MASB was AI, and policies need to be developed around AI. And that's coming, it's here to stay, but we do need to have a policy in place for AI if we don't have one. The man that presented to us worked for the Niles Community Schools. He was the tech director. And I do have some samples of policy that he had created for the use of AI in school districts. So I would like to have that on the agenda.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't we just
We do.
approve AI last? We just did AI policies in our last meeting. But I'll have to look and see. I cannot remember exactly which one it was, but I know that we did an artificial intelligence policy recently. But I'll send it back out. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm sorry, Madam President. Instead of asking the superintendent, please forgive me, Superintendent Griffin. Madam President, can you get that information?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so I have social media policy for review. Triplet was requested to send me, and not just Triplet, but I know he has specific notations, but anybody that has recommendations as it relates to policy 5610, 5610.02, and 5611. If you could send those suggestions to me so we can have something tangible. And then for trustee Rocket Martin, I'll look into the artificial intelligence policy. So that is all we have for policy and discipline committee. I did my committee update in 15 minutes. So we're gonna pass the floor, Curriculum and Student Support Services Committee. Now, normally trustee Chair Gavin would run this section. She's unable to be present today. So I'm not sure if trustee Rocket Martin, if you wanted to lead, or did you want me to lead us through?
To me.
Okay, so you can just share your section.
Yeah, I'll just share.
All right.
About our president, of our chairman being absent, I'm going to pass the floor right directly to Dr. Foster for the teaching and learning part. So Dr. Foster, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon.
Good
I want to start
afternoon.
out by saying Benton Harbor Area Schools is making significant strides in curriculum and instruction by empowering our students and educators with innovative tools and robust professional development. Our commitment ensures every Tiger is prepared for the future success. I do want to take this time to say that according to the Miracles framework, I am a part of the I, which is instruction. Our goal is to strengthen tier one core curriculum across all subjects, ensure high quality learning experience for all students, and embed SEL and resiliency practices into our daily instruction. Our department goals, and every time we meet, I'll definitely talk about these three goals. Again, is to strengthen tier one core instruction, implement standard-based data cycles, improve instructional climate and engagement. And so for the curriculum updates, I do want to say I have to put a pause on Savas for the K-5 tier one curriculum. You did approve that. I appreciate that. However, MDE is revamping the ELA vendor list. And that list will come out in January. So I do not want to purchase a curriculum and they will probably not be on the vendor list. They might be on the vendor list. I have no idea. And so I'm gonna put that on pause. The plan that I have in place is to continue to work with Baron Risa and McGraw-Hill to support our teachers with ELA and the content integration. So we will. I'm waiting. You got your hand up?
Yes.
Huh?
And so I'm not sure how Michigan Department of Education vendors, their list of vendors has anything to do with what Ben Harbor area schools has decided to do for Ben Harbor area schools. So is this list of vendors saying this is the only list that we can use in the state of Michigan?
So we don't want to go against what the state requires our teachers for high quality instruction. And so they usually put out a vendor list. And so we're talking with Baron Risa. They was like, you might want to hold off depending on, especially the dyslexia laws that was passed last year. They're trying to get the vendors that are aligned to the standards.
So thank you for that. Because his point of clarification, that's not something that's common knowledge for the board. So I didn't know that there was a vendor list
Yes, there's a
either.
vendor list
Okay,
for every subject that we could go to. So we don't have to take it, we don't have to guess about what is high quality instruction for our standards. And so you don't have to guess, just go to they have a list for everything, for every subject. And so because of that vendor list, I don't want Benton Harbor to be deemed for us purchasing materials that's not on their high quality list. And so my thing is, I just want us to be right. I want us to be correct.
Another question, have what we voted on at the last meeting,
Yes, sir.
our teachers felt very, very comfortable
They did.
with that. And that they felt like they could move in that direction, because I know when you have a vendors list, when you talk about English, language arts, mathematics, and whatever, we talk about those vendor lists. Sometimes those vendors are aligned with connections with people, and you know, all of that stuff. Let's
Yes,
keep it
sir.
real. I think that just for me, but I'm going to digress and follow your leadership, but I just don't really want us to be pausing when we already know the things that we need to do and what needs to happen for our kids and our district, and our teachers really, really support it.
Yes, sir. And I
Okay.
get that. I understand that. And that's the reason why I'm bringing it to you all to let you know that I have to pause. I don't want us to be out of line of what the state is requiring for us to do or to teach. Like right now, we're trying to be standard based. MVE, Michigan is putting a lot in dyslexia. So some laws that were passed literally October 10th, 2024. So I'm learning the laws. E 47, 46, those laws, going back and reading those, we definitely want to be in line with what Michigan Department of Education is saying. I get what you're saying. But when that vendor list come out, we would definitely look at that, get with our teachers, again, the curriculum department, to see what is best and what aligns with Benton Harbor. But right now, we do have a plan in place to continue to work with McGraw-Hill to get that alignment with our standards and our integration, and also with Baron Risa. I have actually 4 ELA consultants that are coming out tomorrow to do a district walkthrough. You all are more than welcome to come. Started at 9 o'clock at day. All right.
all right, you can continue.
All right. So, and let's go to the instructional walkthrough. So tomorrow I will be with some ELA consultants from Baron Risa. Our sites will be DEC and MLK. Our focus is differentiation, engagement, and small groups, which are the learning centers that should be happening in K through 3. We will expand our walkthroughs, math and science in November. Right now, my main concern is ELA. Our partnership meeting, I want to shout out the principals. We had our second partnership meeting in October, well, last week. And our principals did a great job telling their story about their buildings. The principals presented their data and the next steps. I am so proud of them, of their growing, of being instructional leaders in their building. And so we are tracking their process or their progress with their evidence. So we're going to continue to, I'll continue to work with the principals on that. So I'm proud of them in that partnership meeting. The next thing I want to talk about is our district-wide PD on November the 11th, 2025. Our theme for this is capturing kids' promises, because our focus would definitely be on social, emotional, behavioral health, which is the tier 2 portion of that training, and then community resilience model, which we call that CRAM. And so basically we want to strengthen what we've been seeing is the relationships between the teachers and the students, and then student engagement, and then classroom climate. So of course, classroom management. 21st century. I know people want updates. People want updates on 21st century. My first communication with them was on September 9th. Second was September 17th. It was a follow-up meeting and they were a no-show. October 1st, I did receive that the site was down, and it was down for approximately 3 weeks. However, I did reach out to them and they are coming to the district November 6th and the 7th. So they will be here to have a face-to-face conversation with myself, the principals, and Dr. Griffin. And so we're trying to move this program forward in Benton Harbor.
So-
Yes, sir.
So the 21st century program, refresh me on that program.
It is an AI program to help teachers build out courses for classes.
So it's the one that they did, I think they did, he came and then they showed us virtually how you could go in and say, well, teach me about chemistry, but use Kobe Bryant in LA.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
That I was clear. And
You're
so am I hearing you say that there was a no-show?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Okay, cool. That was something I was gonna ask about. I'll get some more information before I bring it to the table. I do have a question about the instructional walkthroughs.
Okay.
Why aren't the principals involved in the instructional walkthroughs?
They are.
They are.
Will they be participating with you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
For each building, they would definitely be at their walkthroughs.
no, I mean, so when you say they're walkthroughs, so when you guys go through that, do all of the principals in the district walk through and see, and then they have a discussion, and then when you go to MLK, do all of the principals, is there a team for these instructional walkthroughs that go through? Or what is this for, just for parent research to come in and say?
No, so this instructional walkthrough is to support us and what we need for ELA. Right now, our district walkthroughs, we had we had 2 district walkthroughs, we had to reschedule, but those principals were invited to those district walkthroughs. We also invited the president of the union as well to MLK. And so, yes, we have a group of people. It's myself, Dr. Griffin, the interim SPED director, Ms. Nichols, the principals, the other principals at the school, if they could break away to come to those walkthroughs. But this instructional walkthrough is for us to put an action plan together on how Baron Risa could support our ELA teachers.
Gotcha. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
You can proceed. You can proceed. I was at the end of yours.
Any questions? Does anybody have any questions?
I think they've already been asked, if I'm not mistaken.
I have to give you kudos, listening to this and seeing, I gotta, honestly, the whole little packet we got. It's just refreshing and, I'm excited about not where we are, but where we're going. And, so you put the good, the bad, and thank you.
Thank you.
For the teaching and learning, can I possibly have my site open? I can't get into the Google Slides and says, sorry, unable to open the file at this time. So sometime during the night, if I may.
So if you could just, she's saying she can't access, if we could share electronic access to the full board. Cause I think Triplets can't.
So now we will have a presentation by our student support person, Ms. Clea Nichols. In your hands.
Thank you. Good evening. So Student Support Services Department update. First, our.
Can you speak louder, please?
Yes. Is that better?
Yes.
Better? Okay. So our work in our department is aligned with the strategic plan under learning environment, and we are the L in the Miracles framework, which is the learning environments that support student success. In our department, we have 3 goals. One is to reduce chronic absenteeism. The second goal is to increase parental engagement. And the third goal is to improve student well-being. Could do the next slide. This is my fantastic student support services team. So you can read through it. Of course, have myself, I have a registrar, Brenda Matthews, our family and community specialist, Soledad Martinez, and Tiara Greer Allen, our truancy prevention specialist, and Amy Gable, who is our district nurse. Next slide. Yes. Thank you. We're going to start with our student enrollment under which Brenda Matthews, and that goal is to decrease the time between online enrollment and the actual start date. So one thing that we are doing is making sure that we have early communication and eliminate any barriers to our online platform that we are using for applications and enrolling our students. The next step will be on our professional development day, just to align more district-wide welcome follow-up procedures for all of those new families as well. Next slide. Our attendance. A lot of this work is led, of course, by Tiara, but we are currently on pace to meet and sustain the target goal that I just mentioned to reduce chronic absenteeism rate. And also, compared to last year, we have decreased our absenteeism rate. And our average daily attendance rate has increased compared to the same time last year, this year. And of course, this is due to each of our buildings have their attendance teams who are working on the weekly attendance reports to identify students and those trends early, and continuing to target interventions and increase family engagement. Next slide. Next is our, one of our goals is, of course, our family engagement. And what we're doing in that area is to develop data collection methods to get feedback, especially at all of our events. So we have QR codes so they can get the survey back as far as how did those events engage them and how they can support or other ideas for events for family engagement. Another item that we're working on, we're reviewing and revising how we distribute materials to ensure equitable language access for all of our families. Next is under our student health, led by Amy, our district nurse. Just completed the mobile dentist at all of our buildings. And the Barron County Health Department completed the vision and hearing screenings at Fairplain Middle School and MLK. And just last week on October 23rd, 24th, the Lions Club vision screening was completed in our buildings. Now, one of our next items that, of course, we have our goal is the 80% positive ratings for our well-being indicators for our students. And so we have completed our social emotional behavioral health in the classroom and non-classrooms trainings for both DEC, Discovery Enrichment Center, and Martin Luther King Jr. buildings for all staff. And we are in the process of our fall perception surveys for students, staff, and parents. The staff surveys will go out Thursday, and the students and parents are slated for next week and the following week. We already heard about our professional, yes.
I do have a question, and I'm gonna keep bringing this up. I hear a lot about our elementary division. I don't hear anything happening at the secondary level. So are they excluded from this? Are they not a part of this at all?
No, our professional development on November 11th, they actually are high school and middle school. Secondary had SEBH in the classroom last year and, excuse me, not classroom last year, and this year they're doing in the classroom. So they had the first session. This is the second session for the social emotional behavior that is taking place on November 11th. I didn't get to it just yet.
No. I was just saying with this information, all of this stuff, why are we just doing it? Why is it broken down? Why aren't we doing it district-wide with such a small amount of students in our district? Why are we just focusing in on these two? Why isn't everybody doing the same thing at the same time? Because we need the data for all of it. There's any reason why that's not happening?
Yes. So if you recall last year, we had a grant called the State Personnel Grant. It's called SPDIG. And under that grant, that's where the MyMTSS from the state came in, and they supported starting at DEC and MLK first. And then we streamlined and we brought up to Fairplain East. So we started adding them just last year. So it would have been the third year of that. And so when it was sort of, having to their schedule with my MTS, right? So they started under first DEC and then MLK. And then we were able to last year, which was the second year, stream it up to Fairplain East, the middle school and the high school. And so we had to do them by steps, phases.
Thank you.
Welcome. And so, as you had heard that we are having on November 11th, of course, our social emotional behavior in the classroom for our middle school and high school staff. And then as Dr. Foster mentioned, we will be having the CREAM training for Discovery Enrichment Center, Martin Luther King Jr. and Fairplain East. Just as always, Student Support Services Department is actively working to reduce absenteeism, improve student wellness, and strengthen our community partnerships. We are making measurable progress and have a clear, actionable plan for the rest of the school year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions?
Thank you, trustee Runcutt. I gotta give it to you all. You guys are, I like it. A couple of weeks ago, I had a meeting with the superintendent about the Miracle Framework and seeing how everything is labeled and got the goals and everything. This is impressive to see the gains on attendance. It's great. I am excited to see what gains and everything we'll be doing with recruitment. So thank you, and I'm just excited at where we're going.
So I would like to, I'm not gonna repeat what he said, but I agree. I'm impressed by your recognition of your team. Something so small is absolutely major, and a lot of times, often internally, the district knows who does the work, but before the public is you. So I appreciate you being a a good leader of your team and acknowledging their efforts. And I also like that it's noted which particular staff member is responsible for what goal in what area. So thank you for your efforts given. She's chair.
I would like to also say to our superintendent, the format and the presentation of the departments and what have you, I appreciate it. 90 days with all that you've had to deal with. I'm just glad that there is a foundational piece in these reports that we can read and really be able to make ask questions, inform questions and things that we don't know, but it's just good to see a template and a format. So thank you. And I appreciate this. Director, what are y'all names now? What are they now?
Director.
Directors.
Yeah, directors.
Director Nichols, from the Student Services, and to also Dr. Foster for our curriculum and what have you. At least we have a template here, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
I have one question. Is it possible for us to get a preview of the survey that you're sending out to the teachers and the parents and stuff? Can we also
Yes,
get a copy of it?
yes.
Thank you. If there will be no more questions, Madam Chairman, it is in your hands.
Thank you so much for chairing. All right, so we're gonna keep it moving. It is 7:09, so we're making good progress. Up next, we have the Facilities and Operations Committee. I'll pass it over to Chair Triplett, who will facilitate that section of the agenda.
Good evening, Madam President. At this time, I would like to turn this portion of the meeting over to our Director Joseph Bullock for presentation.
Good evening, Board of Education. We would like to just start with our gym floor has been completed.
Will you speak louder and clear, please, sir?
Our gym floor has been completed. And we do have pictures. Now, can you put the pictures up there that show the board?
I'm scared to look at them because somebody might do something to damage them.
It actually looked better than what it was the last time. They did use a different, it was a water-based shellac last time, and we went with oil-based that will last a lot longer than it was previously. At no additional cost. So we will be working on now getting the walls painted so it can look like a brand new gymnasium.
I have just a quick question to that. When we do projects to that extent, are we, like, that's a lot of area. Are we hiring an external painter or do we handle it in-house?
That would be an external painter.
Okay,
That way we can have warranty.
thank you.
Question, Director Bullock. Also, when you're saying that you guys are going to be doing some painting or whatever, you get a chance to speak with you in more in detail. But and I think I spoke with you before about the condition of those bleachers and how the stairs and how filthy they look. And you had mentioned something about getting in contact with somebody, but I would like for you to, if you can, would you please check into that and we'll get an opportunity to talk further, but that looks absolutely amazing. Thank you.
So after, that's the plan. So after we get it painted, that way all the dust will be completed. And then we will go through and steam clean the bleachers. So it'll be ready for basketball season.
So most schools, I got to do some traveling and took a detour to see another school. Some of the gyms, they have the main gym and an auxiliary gym. I know that's not an option right now in Benton Harbor. But do you think if we had something like that, or they went to gym class at Fairplain Junior High or something, it would make our gym floors and everything last longer?
It would, it definitely would. Or, I mean, look into an addition. Cause we have the room on the side of the parking lot, so look in an addition to that to make another area for them to go through.
So it's beautiful that we have the gym floor. I actually took a sneak peek and I probably shouldn't have been walking on it, but I had to inspect it. Okay, have you looked at the locker rooms?
They definitely do need to be addressed and updated. So we can look into that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions on the gym floor? Okay. So next on our agenda, we have the hazardous waste material assessment report. They are in and everything, and I did link the link inside so you all can review them on your time. For Fairplain Northeast, Bard Elementary and Martindale Elementary. My recommendation is to demo Bard and Martindale. And as for Fairplain Northeast, just get it cleaned out and get it ready to go because the building is still in decent shape. And that way, when we deal with our facilities master plan, we can include that building in that plan as well.
So I know there's a development getting happen at Bard, behind Bard. It's gonna be development. How do we make sure the lines and everything remain the district property? We're tearing, I mean, I support tearing down that building. I went out there and it was roosters walking in like, you know, in the area. But how do we make sure that we are not losing sight of the property lines and everything, and it doesn't become, oh, this is just one big development that's gonna happen there?
You said a big development behind Bard?
Yes. I'm sorry, Martindale.
Okay, okay. Yes, but they, Benton Township is actually putting in a park.
Oh, so it's already there?
They in the process of it, but, a survey. We should have a survey. I double check and see, can we find one? But
Or
if not.
putting the fence
we
up
can
if we
easily-
demolish it?
Yeah, we can easily have a survey. Actually, they have to have a survey as well in order to, start construction on it anyways, to know where their property lines actually started in anyways.
Okay, and the demolition, I see those were the properties, but have we looked at the stake of Morton Hill? And I'm not saying demolish it. But have we looked at what is the stake? I know we paid for inspections on these buildings, but what about Morton Hill?
We can look into those. We were just, these were the main ones that we had to get a rush on. So, we will actually be looking, at our other vacant buildings as well.
Okay, thank you.
So,
So I'm gonna let you continue. I just want to remind the board that we so do two things. I'll ask for an update on the master's facilities plan, not necessarily today, but maybe at the regular board meeting, because I know that we have made quite a bit of progress. And I need to go back and see where we are as it relates to the timeline and transitions in leadership in both superintendent and director of facilities, of course, put a pause on that process, but I just want to bring it back front and center. And then also just to remind the board with some of the projects and things and updates and improvements that we want to make. We do want to make sure that we fully flesh out our master's facilities plan, so those types of projects can be included within that plan as well. Okay, you can continue.
and so we are creating RFPs. They're about 60% done. So we will be sending out the RFPs for the abatement and everything for this project. And so once we could send them out, we usually have a 10-day turnaround with different contracts. And then I will share that with the facilities committee. And then from there, Mr. Triplett can actually share them with the Board of Education.
Madam President, I did, one of the classes that I attended at MASB was for projects like this. And how do we do, when we talk about a master facility plan and the steps and how it actually looks. So I'm excited about working with Director Bullock and Superintendent Griffin, so we can expedite and get this process in place and have it already mapped out so we'll know what it is that we're doing a few years down the road. So thank you. Go ahead, continue. So,
Next on our agenda, we'll be talking about the roofs here at the high school. The PAC roof and the band area roof need to be replaced. I have already sent out RFPs and got bids actually back from the two companies. And so I did list the difference in the two companies. That was the lowest bid as well. And so the lowest bid was $166,616 for both of the roofs. And that's a total rip off and new roof replace. And on the PAC, they have some shutters that's on there for like fire purposes. So say for instance, the PAC catch on fire, it'll open up those shutters and allow the smoke to come out the PAC to kind of save the building a little bit. And so those need to be replaced because right now they real rusted and won't open. So that's actually included in those prices as well.
so and when we look at this, we look at about replacing roofs and those types of things. Have we prioritized which one needs to be addressed like immediately before winter? Have we looked at it from that perspective?
Yes, sir. That's why I hurry up and created RFPs and sent them out. We had actually 10 contractors come in and put bids in. And I wanted to make sure we get the best bang for our buck, but the best warranty as well. So this actually includes a 20-year warranty for this roof.
So these two right here, this right here is for the high school.
The high school
in particular.
Yep, the PAC is got a nice leak in, especially on the stage area.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And the gymnasium area.
The gymnasium a new roof have already been put on the gymnasium. So we are good with the gym. But my recommendation is because that was $851 more with the second highest bid. That contractor there is the one that did the gymnasium as well. And so we actually seen his work and we seen how good it looked, and he came back. We thought we had an issue with the roof, but it wasn't. It was the drain pipe. He actually came right back and checked on it and found, that it wasn't his job. So I would recommend, even though it's only $851 different, I recommend going with him. That way we dealing with one contractor for all our warranties. We don't have to chase different contractors down.
Thank you.
And I did also link pictures of the different roofs as well, so you can also see those as well. Any questions on the roofs? Okay. Boilers. All boilers have been turned on in every school. Now I do believe we need to start looking at phase 2. We're actually replacing the piping of all at the high school. Fair Plain East is up and running. That school is good with the new boiler replacement. But we definitely need to start researching and getting phase 2 ready for the high school for the plumbing.
Okay, and so just the notation, some of our pipes can't take the pressure of the new boilers. That's just because they're older pipes. Okay.
Yeah, because they're older. I did link some pictures in and you can kind of see when we turned it on, some of the elbows have had holes in them and everything, but we had also replaced the ones that had the holes in. So we keeping an close eye on classrooms, close eyes on the tunnels and different things like that. So if something happened, we can address the issue pretty fast.
So you guys have walked through and identified those areas that need work on the pipes that we can take care of right now so that we won't have any problem in particular this winter
Yes,
as it relates to our students
yes,
and our school buildings?
yes.
So have we purchased those things? Is somebody doing those things? Are we ready? Or is there something that needs to happen from this Board of Education in order for you to be able to go forward and do that work?
No, we have already, because it is not that expensive to replace certain elbows and different things like that. So we have already replaced some that's been damaged. So we're like, all right, now everything is good, all heat is on in different classrooms. But we're gonna be studying, doing walkthroughs just in case something happens, so we can address it urgently.
Okay, because it's predicted that this is supposed to be a very extremely tough winter in the state of Michigan. You know, extremely tough. And so just listening today and just keeping up with things, it is an exceptionally cold fall. So I want us to be ready, and we're counting on your expertise and your leadership to take us in that direction, and let's move as quickly as possible that we can. So I would like to get with you and Superintendent Griffin as soon as possible so we can talk, so I can present it to my colleagues and to the committee.
Yes.
Thank you.
And just as a clarification to the board, I know everyone was kind of overwhelmed with the size of the packet today, but majority of these documents here are related to the assessments of those buildings, various certificates and things of that nature. So you want to make sure that you do peruse through these documents so we can have a full understanding of the outcome of those assessments done.
I did link an electronic version as well, so.
Thank you very much. Okay, if there's no other questions for Director Bullock or the Facilities Committee, we'll keep it. Trustee Rackemar, you had a question or comment? Okay. You have, go ahead.
I just have a quick statement. I want to make sure that, and I apologize for his portion, he addresses the L in the Miracles framework around the learning environment that supports student success. It's all about making sure that there's a particular focus on learning environments, leveraging system-wide professional learning, and ensuring that the district is working and safe and culture is right. So he sets the stage for that, for the L and Miracles.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if there's no other further questions at this time, we'll proceed to Finance Committee work session. Now, I noticed that Director Brock Carter was unable to be present today. It's up to the board whether you all want to review her section over time
Madam Secretary,
and send any questions, or do you guys want to go through?
Madam President, when I look at the September financial summary, like it has Savas, but we're not even using that or paying for that, right? It's on hold. It's
Large payment, in her financial summary under large payments, they're listed.
Hello? Yeah, okay, so we're using Savas, not only just in ELA, however, in math and Spanish. So I would have to know what area
Okay.
that is in. Right now, Savas for ELA K through 5, that has not been issued out right now or whatever. That is literally on hold. So that should even be on the financial report.
But we'll confirm what that monies is for,
Okay.
because we use them for other subjects as well as ELL.
Okay, so Madam President, what I would recommend is if any of us have any questions with the financial, we communicate with Trustee Gavin or Treasurer Bradley, and we communicate to Dr. Griffin and Ms. Brock. I'm Director Brock in our classroom, but to save the essence of time and your goal of getting us out of here by 8, we pass it.
Okay, so you all have linked there your standard financial summary, budget to actual summary, budget to actual detail, your vendor payment report, credit card report, year-to-date revenue comparison, year-to-date expense comparison, statement of revenue and expense by fund, statement of financial position, staff report F1, which is for the approval of funds spent. And then also you have Title I and Title IV estimated allocation information. As always, we have the financial summary for September 2025. So please take the next 2 weeks to peruse the documents. If you have specific questions in detail, please send those directly, as he stated, to Dr. Griffin. I know that we standard would go through this today. However, I am asking a major ask of the board that you do the homework in the meantime, so that we can have clarity needed and can get through this section as standard at our regular board meeting. What they'll be presenting in staff report F1 is a total fund spending of $1,804,236.43. So I would strongly suggest that you all peruse and look through the documents in great detail so we can be prepared to approve that report.
Madam President,
You have the floor.
also, for Dr. Foster and as Superintendent Griffin stated, if there are any adjustments that need to be made to say particularly what this money is, this large payment is for that particular lined item, make sure that we're clear on what it is that we're spending. So we're going, and that it will not be with ELA or any of that.
All right, thank
And
you.
can we have access? Can you all make sure that any of the links that you sent, that we always have access if you can? Thank you all so much.
Madam President.
Where's that come? There's that Doyle. You have the floor.
I was wondering about getting a different kind of report when we talk about that offline, or is that something we can discuss at the table?
What type of report is it? Is it financial report? Okay.
So I'm looking to see if we can get a report of like requests that are being made in the from finance, or however our people make requests for money. Can we get a list of those requests and what was the given or not given?
Do you think that's something that Brett Carter could do, Dr. Griffin?
Certainly.
Okay. Okay, so we'll check into that and see what a report out system of that nature would look like. So you're essentially wanting to know, for example, Principal Barnes requested $3,000 for this particular activity and $3,000 was approved or something to that extent. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to continue forward, passing it over to Vice President Bowens for the Human Resources Committee work session, and it is 7:30.
And I give it to our Director of HR, Ms. Sheila Dorsey Smith.
Good evening and thank you.
I can start us off for that section if you want. So this section, of course, with human resources, her department falls under the A for attract and retain high quality staff. So I'll do these first areas and then I'll turn it over to her for the updates. In other words, regarding our human resources, our effort to do just that, attract and retain high quality staff. As we mentioned last board meeting, we talked about and approved proximity learning. Ms. Dorsey and Dr. Foster and myself are working in tandem with them about which classes they teach, or they take on, the courses that they take on. And we're monitoring all three programs very closely. And of course, our goal, as we wait anxiously from the state and NDE regarding the curriculum, our goal is always to provide grade level tier 1 instruction to our students, because that helps to decrease our tier 2, tier 3 sections of students. I would also want to give an update on the Miss A. Williams update. She and I met after last board meeting, and we talked very intensely, and she shared her request humbly to ask for us to make that change, and I did. So she has been approved to move forward with her new district. I also had a meeting with the instructional facilitators and academic interventionists that were recently requested to go into the classrooms to assist with the human resources deficits that we have. And I had a wonderful discussion with them where they had an opportunity to share their concerns, ask questions, and I made sure that I affirmed them in the hard work that they have already done, as well as the strategies that they were working on prior to being removed from their roles and going back into the classrooms. And so from there, we agreed, we have a Google Classroom where we all have our norms, and I have the meetings of the things that I needed to follow up on. And I gave them the updates to a lot of those, access to curriculum, access to resources. They have some other resources that, and things that they needed, too. So my goal was to make sure that when we make transitions, that we do so in a more humanizing way. And so I'm really happy with the outcome of the meeting, and we have an opportunity to share a lot of the things that they've asked for have already been provided. So I will continue to make sure I support them through those pathways, one being the Google Classroom, and they also have my direct contact information as well. So that closes out my portion. I'll yield back to Ms. Dorsey, our Human Resources Director, to give us an update on other areas regarding human resources.
Thank you so much for that. I'd like to talk about the H1 report.
Can you speak louder for us? Can't hardly hear you.
Really? Is that better?
Yeah.
Much better.
I'd like to talk about the H1 report. The separation of employment. We have Jeffrey McCoy, school social worker, resigned effective November 3rd. He was at Fairplain Middle School and Benton Harbor High School. There was an exit interview and it was done in person. He did complete the survey and asked to be shared with the administration and also the board, and that was shared with you.
I've already shared it with you, them.
Yeah, it was shared with
In the
them.
board, yeah, the cabinet, you all have that.
The next report is the H2 report. The new hire third party. And it lists Ashley Williams as being hired to work at River of Life School. The H3 report is report for new hires. We've hired 2 certified special education teachers. One for Fairplain Middle School and one district-wide, and also a CTE Media Communications teacher. And those are with general funds.
Just have a quick question for clarification. How would the district-wide sped teachers day look?
So what he does is write IEPs and hold IEPs every day.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Sorry. With the IEPs, so it's probably changed from years ago. When I was an IEP student, that individual teacher wrote, the student will learn and what was my strength and weaknesses and what they seen for observation. So that district-wide special ed teacher will be doing that. How would he be in the classroom observing, or will he just?
I'll take that. Yes, of course. One of the things that this person is going to do is just that, look at the student's data, observe the student in classroom, have conversations with the students as well as with the teachers. Obviously, because the first thing we want to make sure we do is to make sure that the goals are accurate and they have high expectations for our students that have diverse learning needs, to make sure that they're aligned to what the student needs are. So yes, the teacher, Mr. Bridges, will absolutely be observing, having conversations with the students, reviewing the current IEP, right? To assess that, to see where it's strong and where it's weak. Because one of the major things that happens in many districts is the strength of the IEP. And so, of course, also bringing the student to the table to know the IEP. When we talk about student voice, we should make sure that a student knows what's in their IEP and have a voice in those goals. So to your point, yes, this person will be observing, will be looking at data, and will be having conversations with all applicable stakeholders connected to the IEP.
Thank you. And I like that student voice. If you know me, I was raised if I thought it was not obtainable or whatever. So I'm glad to see that student voice is involved. I'm also glad to see that we are hiring certified teachers. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Secretary Triplett, you had your hand up?
I did. I got a different understanding. I thought that this individual would lead the work of the IEPs for the district in its entirety. And so they would make sure that the IEPs are scheduled. So is this a teacher? Or is this a person that's over the IEP for the district? Is it a
No.
classroom teacher?
It's not a classroom teacher. This person will support and fill the gap for the missing teachers going through their IEPs and making sure that we're in compliance with their annual evaluation dates.
Right, okay.
The person that's overseeing that obviously is Ms. Hegler.
All right.
So who? Okay. All right, thank you.
The next area is teacher certifications. We're up to 56 teachers that are fully certified, and those are listed in that document. The next slide is mentoring. So we have multiple ways we're trying to get teachers certificated to work here in Benton Harbor Public Schools. And this just gives you an update on where we are, and we get this monthly. The next item is our vacancy list. And it lists our vacancies and what we are doing toward filling those positions. And we're interviewing tomorrow for the Martin Luther King vacancy, principal vacancy.
How many?
Can you repeat that last statement?
We're interviewing for
Okay.
the MLK vacancy tomorrow, the principal vacancy.
How many candidates do we have?
We're interviewing 3 tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for providing us the list that shows our areas of certification. It's really meaningful to have access to this. So I appreciate your efforts as well.
Yeah. Are you done, President Robinson?
Yes.
Thank you. I also like, just seeing the strike down when we're making progress and everything. Although the mountain may look tall and may be big, we're slowly making progress. And I'm optimistic about the HR department. And kudos to Jessica McFall. She chaired in and represented the HR department with class and job well done in getting that office well oiled. Trustee Angela, sorry, Trustee Doyle. So
Thank you. Can we get an update on proximity? I know we were going to hire some teachers through there.
Well, with proximity, we have been working in tandem with their staff and looking specifically at the roles we want them to fill. So all we have vacancies, I am being very strategic and intentional about which vacancies they fill because of the other program that we have, because we're also being very fiscally responsible. You know, the S in miracles is sound fiscal stewardship. So we're not giving them all of them because, as you can see very clearly, there are fewer that we need. That we had fewer at the last meeting, the board meeting when he was here, and since that time, we have even fewer. We have certified individuals coming. So with that, Ms. Dorsey, Ms. McFall, Dr. Foster, and myself, we sit at the table and we're coming up with a plan for exactly which courses we want them to take on. And we're also going to be observing when we take them on. We're going to be doing when I interviewed a superintendent, the program evaluation, remember that? We're going to be evaluating and analyzing everything they do to determine who moves forward for SY 27.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
is there any further, Secretary Triplett?
Yeah, so on here, when I look at, first of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Director Dorsey Smith as well for those of us who are visual learners and we need to see it. That's very, very critical. I appreciate that. So as I look on here, the vacancy list for 2025, 2026, So the teachers through proximity are going to fill in these positions. Is that not correct until we find someone for those positions?
No, that's not correct. My objective with working with my team, we're going to determine which classes they fill.
Okay, so maybe my understanding was a little bit different. That we had 18 positions when we asked the last meeting, there were 18 positions that were.
That's not the case anymore. We've gotten some of those positions filled.
So this list right here, it's been some changes since you guys submitted this tonight.
No, not since tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just asking.
Not since tonight. As I stated before, I am being intentional with what courses they take on. And so I don't want to say at this time because I'm still deciding with my team which courses they will take on as a company. Yes, we have vacancies, but I'm not just going to do this haphazardly. I want to make certain from the courses that we need, which one will fill this. So proximity will be utilized, but to what extent, I will finalize the decision for that.
Okay, so nobody is filled in the position yet.
I'm not finished with my
Sorry.
question. Yeah. So again, the core academic teacher's positions will take precedence. Is that not correct? That's why I voted and supported it. Under the assumption that if nothing else, these core academic teacher positions would be.
Yes, of course.
I think.
Okay, if there's not being any further question, Madam President, it goes to you.
Okay, so thank you to the Human Resources Committee for your meeting as well. We'll proceed. I have no old business at this particular time. I also don't have anything for new business other than I anticipate that Dr. Griffin and I will go to a Berrien County Commission meeting in the near future. We received an invitation, I think, was it St. Joe Charter we were at? From one of the commissioners a couple months ago, and it slipped my mind to send out the information request for us to attend. We were invited. So we'll be doing that just to introduce them formally to Dr. Griffin. That's really the only update that I have as it relates to new business. I'll keep you all posted on the date and time of that meeting. I'm not sure if it'll be November or December. And just in case you all want to be present or want to attend as well. I have no other new business. So at this time, I'll open the floor. It's 7:45, so I think we can actually make that go. I'll open the floor. Is there anyone here for open public comment? Hearing none. Superintendent announcements and comments. We do have, oh, you have something? Okay, do you need me to read you the public comment statement? Okay. The Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education recognized the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters. Today, there are 2 areas for comment on the agenda of which you may decide when to speak. Public comment on agenda items and open public comment. We request that each interested participant complete a public participation form using legible writing to ensure the responses are appropriate and properly focused. For Benton Harbor Area Schools Bylaw 0167.3, which governs board participation at board meetings, we request that you preface your comments with your name, address, and group affiliation when appropriate. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to a 3-minute duration, and per bylaws, no participant may speak more than once on the same topic until any other persons have had the opportunity to speak on that topic. Participants may remove their masks when addressing the board. Participants shall direct all comments to the board and not to staff or other participants. The board will listen, take comments and questions under advisement, and not respond at this time. I, as president, will refer questions to the superintendent for research and response. Please ensure that your public participation form includes your contact information as requested. If you have specific questions for the board or executive team that require follow-up, please email those directly to natalie.singer@bhas.org. You have the floor.
Next to it. We can't hear you.
So my concern,
Multitask then.
Okay, I apologize. So my concern, my name is Daisha Moore, and I am one of the IT support professionals. I also was trying to volunteer as one of the coaches for the robotics team. I spoke with Miss Mason, who is over the robotics as a whole. She is the head coach, and I was informed. And I will also say I was a graduate of 2019 and part of the robotics team for 2018 and 2019 when we went to state, and we also won the chairman award. So I'm trying not to be emotional. I was informed that we may not be able to do any competitions due to funding. And there's a lot of grants. And when I was part of the team, I worked really hard to try to build up that program. And now I see that it's starting to go back down to a level of kind of just brushed to the side almost. And technology is one of the fastest growing fields right now. No matter what area of robotics the students get into, they are building those skills that they will need in any job they get going forward. So I am concerned. And if I would just ask if we could please review and look over the funding and how it's being handled when it comes to the robotics team. Because I'd like to see it expand and be more than what it is. Right now, it's kind of like we're in a classroom. There's two, one for coding, one for the building area. There has been no approval to even get the machine, as I'm told by Ms. Mason, as of right now. There's been no approval to get the kit for this upcoming season. So there may be no, that we're working off spare parts essentially is what she told me. So she would like to request some things, and I know there's a formal way of doing that, but I just have concerns, and if that could be reviewed.
Thank you. Anyone else for open public comment? Hearing none, we'll proceed. Superintendent announcements and comments. Dr. Griffin.
I just have one. I am super excited about the launch of my Superintendent Student Advisory Council. I had my introductory meetings, and I want to give a special shout out to Ms. Nichols, the Director of Student Support Services, for putting it all together. She gathered sent out the survey, gathered the names, we went through the names, and finally, from all of her planning, she did an amazing job. I had both meetings today, and I couldn't be more excited about all of the wonderful things that will help improve our district because of the input and voice of the members of the Superintendent Student Advisory Council.
Okay. All right, we're going to proceed. Thank you, Dr. Griffin, with board member announcements and comments. Trustee Doyle. And it is 7:50.
I would just like to thank everyone for coming out. I really like the paw appreciation. That was so dope. Thank you, Dr. Griffin, for starting that. I think it's very important that we let our people know that we appreciate them with a little extra. Yeah, thanks a lot. You guys have a great night.
All right, Trustee Raquel Martin.
Hats off to everybody that did the track, the ribbon ceremony. That was so nicely done. And I enjoyed the tailgate party. It didn't stay for all of it, but I certainly enjoyed being out there with the community. So well done. And thank you, Dr. Griffin, for those ideas. Also, we had a nice turnout for our educational advocacy program that was sponsored by the BHAS Association at the ISD. So thank you. I think Trustee Bradley made it.
I completely forgot. My apologies.
Our president is busy. So, but I appreciate that you just signed up. But anyway, that was well worth the time and effort. And maybe I can give a little highlights on that a little later, at a later date. And that's all. I'm done.
Thank you. Up next, we have Secretary Triplett.
Madam President, I would just like to thank Dr. Griffin and her team for the work and say congratulations on your 90-day marker. As superintendent of the schools, just continue to work. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Bowens.
In the words of Mr. Triplett, we make time for everything else. So I must make us make that. No, I'm just like, I just want to say, kudos to Dr. Griffin and the staff and everything for making homecoming back to what it used to be. I was there. I had to sport my Tiger gear, my jacket and everything, and it was just nice. The mayor was telling me he ain't seen homecoming like this in years. So job well done. The student advisory, I got my start off in politics back in 2006. It feels awkward saying that, but back in 2006, I was a student board representative under the superintendent, Paula Downing. And then I became, in 2007, my senior year, a student representative again. So to see that and to see that you're doing advisory and then seeing a letter on Facebook with the parent bragging, it just touched my heart. Congratulations to the Benton Harbor Tigers on their football season and the win last year. Last week, sorry. Sometimes things look,
He said last.
yeah, sometimes things look tough and they look dim. And we gotta realize good does come out of Benton Harbor.
Oh, definitely.
And we just gotta press forward and keep going. I like the pause thing, Dr. Griffin, and boosting staff morale and staff engagement. I was big on that a couple of years ago. And board unity, I will say we may be that one dysfunctional family. We may take pictures and smile, but I gotta be honest, going to Traverse City and driving and taking the back roads and all of that, the unity was just there. It was making sure all of us got home, making sure all of us made it there and everybody was okay, making sure we went out to eat. And it just showed we each bring something different to the table. We may not gotta love each other, but we do gotta work with each other. And I think that's what it showed. Congratulations to Dr. Griffin on your 90 days. And I look forward to the next 90 days. You've been going on and on. Madam President, we missed you at the MASB. I am so excited about next year. It was just great, and I hope we go to the National Black Association of School Boards. One thing I will tell you, when we were there, we seen Dearborn walk by, and we was like, oh, they must be from Dearborn. And we seen Anchor Bay walk by. I had my Tiger gear. They didn't have their stuff, but I was extra. Somebody didn't post it on Facebook, but that's okay. Don't hate, appreciate. So besides that, I would like to say have a good night and I love you all.
I will make it super brief. Congratulations to Dr. Griffin on your 90 days. You've done a fabulous job. I appreciate and trust your leadership. I trust your cabinet and appreciate their efforts given today, as well as the presentation of our documents and our slides. I appreciate my board and the 5 that were able to make it to the conference to hold it down for Benton Harbor area schools. Extremely proud of Vice President Bowens on taking that step this weekend and joining and having an opportunity to appreciate the conference experience. And so really excited for opportunities for growth in the future as well. And of course, congratulations to the Tigers on their win this past Friday. And that is all I have. So without further ado, I'll ask, is there a motion to adjourn? So moved. Is there a second or support? The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Doyle. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett, please call the roll.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Rocket Martin, trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carries.
Meeting is adjourned as of 7:57 PM.